Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Hey, welcome back to Daily Dose Radio. Are you ready for some fresh, organic 5-minute Bible study this week? You know, a survey was done, and 3 out of 12 baristas across America said Daily Dose Radio was really pretty good. So you need to listen to it every single day just because of that. We're looking this week in Psalm 119, and this week we're in the Psalmic division, which is the 15th division of Psalm 119. So I hope you'll take your Bibles and you'll join me today as we read today and all this week verses 113 through 120. Today we're going to just be studying verse 113. Let me read to you from my translation. Those who are half-hearted I hate, but your law I love. So the psalmist immediately gives us something interesting here. He sets up this contrast. Those who are half-hearted I hate. Now, I found in Mason Neal's commentary on this particular verse, very interesting thing. That word, seapim, which is the word for half-hearted, can mean either thoughts or persons. It's a plural, it's a participle, so, you know, we love the verbal noun. And as a participle, we would translate it, those who are half-hearted. And we would assume it means people. He says it could mean both thoughts and persons, which is interesting. I've translated it here, those who, so I'm translating it as people. Those who are half-hearted, I hate. I'm assuming that it's people. But I love the way he does that. And he says, you know, that it contains the notion of double-mindedness or halting between two opinions. Well, as soon as you say that, what do you think of? Well, all of us probably think of 1 Kings chapter 18, right? When Elijah is on Mount Carmel. And he says to the people, how long halt ye between two opinions? If the Lord be God, follow him, but if Baal, then follow him. And the people answered him not a word. Why is that? Because they were cold and stony-hearted on that day. They wanted to see a miracle. That's all they were concerned about. They didn't care who God was. Well, God was going to show himself in a mighty way, and these people were going to repent. But this is how they begin. They begin halting between two opinions. They don't know who they're going to serve. Well, the psalmist sort of, sets the bar for us here. He says, the half-hearted, those who halt between two opinions. That's the person or the thought that I hate. And he says to follow that, the other side of the contrast is love. Your law is what I love. And there's no half-heartedness in the love for the law. We can also go to the New Testament with this very thought and think about what James said. James said in chapter 1 of his little letter, verse 6, let him ask in faith, nothing wavering, for he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea driven with the wind and tossed. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So, ladies and gentlemen, to love the law and to make it our number one source and standard is to keep ourselves from double-mindedness. That's exactly what happens. And, of course, that's what's, the psalmist is telling us here. The half-hearted, those who are in between, who can't make up their minds. If it's the Lord they're going to follow, if it's their own whims they're going to follow, or if it's another God they're going to follow, or some other philosophy in the world they're going to follow. He says, but there's only one thing that I follow. This is what I love. I love your law. So there's no half-heartedness there. It's single-minded. It's single purpose. You see, that's what the psalmist is giving us here in this particular verse. This single-minded, single-hearted love for the law dispenses with, well, I don't knows, and the, well, I can't decides, and no, it's none of that. It's the law. That's what I love. That is going to be one of our key words this week. The word love and the words for sustain or support are going to be some of our theme words. So I hope you join me for the rest of this week. Tomorrow we're going to look at 14 and 15 on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.